Rideshare drivers gathered to protest for a higher living wage. We'll hear their demands.
The Los Angeles City Council approved a plan today that will give every incoming LAUSD first grader a college savings account.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
I think the best way to honor the memory of all the victims in this case is to just live our lives with purpose and meaning. Just hug your families, live every day, you know?
1 year ago tomorrow, 12 people were killed at the Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks. Good evening. I'm Cecil Hannibal.
And I'm Kellie Miller. Family and friends are planning to honor the 12 who died that night.
It was just another night out at a popular bar for college students. Then a 28-year-old with a semi-automatic pistol forced his way in and started shooting. He fired almost 60 rounds of ammunition into the crowd of young people. Most of them were in their 20s. In addition to the 12 killed, 18 were injured. There were 248 survivors. By that point in 2018, there had been more than 300 mass shootings. Of the 12 victims, most were young people in their 20s. Some were employees at the Borderline Bar and Grill. Sergeant Ron Helus was the first responder on the scene and was killed by the shooter. His family says he was nearing retirement. We spoke with the family of one victim about Sergeant Helus.
And as the family members, we're grateful that even though it was too late, when Ron had gotten there, it was too late to save our family members, our loved ones, but we're grateful that Ron was able to save other people from being casualties.
A memorial for the 12 victims will be dedicated tomorrow afternoon at the Conejo Creek North Park in Thousand Oaks.
Today, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department honored Sergeant Ron Helus for his bravery last November. Annenberg Media's Toni Reveles shows us how his memory will live on for millions of people who drive on the 101 freeway.
Sergeant Ron Helus served in the Ventura County Sheriff's Department for about 28 years. Today, 3.4 miles of the 101 freeway in Thousand Oaks were dedicated to Helus, one of the 12 victims who lost his life in the Borderline shooting.
I'd trade those signs in any day to have Ron back, I'll tell you what, but it's a small tribute to a larger-than-life person who did something that really, truly impacted a lot of lives. There's a lot of people who are alive today because of what he did last year.
With the anniversary of the Borderline shooting coming up, members of the community, Ventura Sheriff County, and family members of Ron Helus gathered here today for the dedication of part of the 101 in his honor. Assembly member Jackie Irwin was the one who proposed the legislation for the dedication of the freeway. Irwin wanted to make sure it was ready by the 1-year anniversary.
You feel so helpless and you want to do something to make things just marginally better, and this is a way that we can really celebrate the life of Sergeant Helus.
Residents of Thousand Oaks also came to show their support.
It's one of those things where you just don't have the words, but all I can think of is thank you, for what you do. And I guess this would be what I would say to other officers. Thank you, for what you do to protect.
You can see the signs marking the Helus Memorial Highway from Hampshire Road to Lynn Road in Thousand Oaks. For Annenberg Media, I'm Toni Reveles.
Virginia voters gave Democrats control of the legislature for the first time in 25 years. The governor says gun control will be his first order of business.
Again, we've had this mass tragedy in Virginia. Last year, we lost over 1,000 lives to gun violence, and people have said enough is enough. And I've told the legislators I need people that will come to Richmond and have dialogue. They'll take votes and pass laws to make Virginia safer. And so people spoke yesterday, and I'm just excited. We're going to get a lot of good things done in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
After a mass shooting in May left 12 people dead, Governor Northam says Virginians have had enough. In January, he plans to pass laws that include banning assault weapons, reporting missing firearms within 24 hours, and allowing one handgun purchase within a 30-day period. With Democrats in control, the Virginia governor says he will also tackle issues of race, health care, and women's reproductive rights. Virginia's not the only state where Democrats won big.
Our political correspondent, Nathan Hyun, has more on the results. Nathan?
Thanks, guys. The Democrats did have some significant victories last night. Kentucky elected Democratic candidate Andy Beshear, the son of former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear. And Democrats in Virginia won both the House of Delegates and the state Senate. Let's take a closer look at the results. In Kentucky, Beshear narrowly beat out incumbent Governor Matt Bevin by about 5,000 votes, 49.2% to 48.8%. Even though all the precincts have reported, Bevin has yet to concede. Virginia now has switched to a Democratic majority in both the state Senate and the House of Delegates. There are 21 Democrats in the state Senate to 19 Republicans, and 54 Democrats to 43 Republicans in the House of Delegates. Political scientist Raphael Sonnenschein talked about the implications for the 2020 election.
The president is not invulnerable politically, even in conservative areas. That has to be very worrisome for the White House, because part of their success is not winning the love of Republicans on Capitol Hill, but keeping them afraid of the president's anger. You know, people would say, well, it was closer than you expect in a red state, blah, blah, blah. In the current climate, there's no substitute for winning.
President Trump told supporters at a rally the night before the Kentucky election that if the Republican governor loses, it will, quote, send a really bad message. The Democratic National Committee announced that UCLA will no longer host the December Democratic debate due to an ongoing labor dispute involving UCLA. The DNC still hopes to hold a debate in Los Angeles, and USC may be an option. Now over to you, Kellie.
Thanks, Nathan. Today, rideshare drivers protested in Beverly Hills outside of Uber co-founder Garrett Camp's house. Members of the Workers Alliance were protesting for a higher living wage. Drivers in Los Angeles are now paid an average $15 an hour, but drivers are demanding $30 an hour.
I want Uber to understand that we need a livable wage. I want to stop living in my car. I'm 65 years old, I'm disabled, and I can't afford to live in Los Angeles.
Well, we're gonna go stand outside this dude that just paid $72.5 million for a home when I can't pay $700 a month for my rent. Where most of us were one paycheck away from being homeless. It's very unacceptable, especially when people are making billions off of our work and our labor.
An Uber spokesperson responded to the protest saying, "We've been forcefully advocating to create a new standard of work in California that establishes commitments and transparency on earnings, ensure earnings cover driving expenses, access to new benefits such as health care, and protects workers' flexibility." Many drivers say the income they make is not enough to support their living expenses.
Los Angeles City Council today unanimously approved a plan that would give every incoming Los Angeles Unified School District first grader a savings account fund funded with $50 of seed money.
We are, you say, graduates. We are graduates! Everybody here,
City Council member David Ryu spearheaded the Children's Savings Account Program, also known as Opportunity LA. This is in partnership with LA County Supervisors and LAUSD board members.
We today, after we vote in City Council, will be instituting for the incoming first grader class this coming September, the largest children's savings account program in the nation. In Los Angeles, we need it more than ever because 80% of our students in LAUSD are below the federal poverty guideline. 17% of our students in the school district are homeless. This district needs it most than anyone else.
It's about government working together with philanthropy, with our banking, finance organizations to make sure that every family in Los Angeles knows that we need them and their success is our success.
Starting in 2020, the program will cover 10% of LAUSD first graders. By 2024, it will include all first graders enrolled in an LAUSD public or affiliated charter school. Data has shown that a low-income child with up to $500 in a dedicated savings account is 3 times more likely to enroll in college. The Los Angeles Children's Saving Account program will cover all students regardless of income, background, or immigration status.
A new student-run program is opening a shelter that will house and feed college students.
That's right, and the 10th annual USC Drag Show is this weekend. We talked to one of their performers.
We'll take you to the home of a pop star where hundreds of people line up for a yard sale.
Coming up next.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El Bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Next week, a group of students will have a new place to call home. Our reporter Morgan Stevens is live at a new shelter in Koreatown that will house homeless college students. Morgan?
That's right. I'm here right now on Normandy Avenue in Koreatown, where the USC Trojan shelter is located. It's about a 10-minute drive or a 20-minute bus ride from USC's campus. Now, this is the shelter where the 6 students that have been chosen will be housed starting next Friday. The neighborhood is very residential. There's a community center across the street, there's a church next door, and there's apartments all around. I went to the grand opening last week and I spoke with students who are running the program. Take a look. This will soon be home for 6 students who are homeless right now. USC Trojan Shelter is a student-run program that will house and feed homeless college students. Last week, they celebrated their grand opening by welcoming visitors to tour it. Abigail Lung is one of 2 students who founded Trojan Shelter. She started it after hearing someone speak about working with student shelters.
I remember sitting in that class and having Lewis, the co-founder of Bruin Shelter, come as a guest speaker and just being really struck by the numbers for college homelessness.
Homeless students from any California college or university can apply to the shelter as long as they're enrolled in 2 units of courses. Each student is housed for 1 academic year on a rolling basis. Trojan Shelter also takes student volunteers who cook meals. The program will feature dorm-style housing for 6 students with 3 meals a day. Each night, students and volunteers arrive at 7 p.m. and leave by 7 a.m. The shelter also provides each student with 2 caseworkers to help with job prep and mental health counseling. Matthew Lee has been involved with Trojan Shelter from the beginning. Hearing stories of struggling students motivated him to get involved.
This one really resonated with me, is that one of her students couldn't buy her textbook because she had to pick between a mattress or a textbook so she could sleep.
Lee says it's challenging to turn down students in need because of limited space.
And so kind of our guiding star is who can we help the most with our programs, just because we understand that college homelessness specifically is very case by case.
The first round of students have already been selected and they will move in next Friday. For Annenberg Media, I'm Morgan Stevens. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Morgan. The Queer and Ally Student Assembly is hosting its 10th annual drag show. Annenberg Media's Mariah Polk shows us the organization's decade-long tradition.
Angel Zayas performed a show-stopping number at last year's USC drag show. The assistant director of Queer Student Assembly and seasoned performer believes this year will be one of the most successful.
Because it's our biggest event for the fall, it's a really good time to form community within our group. Also, at the same time, this is, for some people, they've never experienced a drag show before, so this really introduces them to not only the art form, but this idea of deconstructing gender.
Welcome to the stage, the fabulously entertaining Miss Angel Dust.
Now, QASA puts on this event, and they're expecting over 800 students to be in attendance. In addition, they are having a star-studded judges panel in which they will have 10 very notable drag queens judging all of the other performers in the show. Now, some of these queens have actually been on the television show RuPaul's Drag Race. Some of the queens that will be here include Scarlett Envy, Mayhem Miller, and Gia Gunn. Even one of Zaya's backup dancers, Cyan Cromwell, is excited about the event and hopes USC will continue to uplift its LGBTQ community.
I think it's really exciting. I think it's a very pivotal moment, and I hope that it just grows.
The USC Drag Show is this Saturday at 7 p.m. It's free and open to everyone. For Annenberg Media, I'm Mariah Polk.
You know, Cecil, I think it's time we check in for weather. It's getting a little chilly, especially in here.
And we're switching things up this week. Our weather anchor has a special story about how social media is fighting to help a man on death row.
That's right, Cecil, she does. And now, time for weather anchor Ari Taylor. What do you have?
Thanks, Kelly. So, starting off as we always do, for all your cuffing season woes, I recommend Summer Walker's album Over It to get us through. But right now for today's weather, it's chilly, guys. Grab a hoodie, grab a sweater, grab all of Bay's clothes and layer up because it's 65 degrees. But let's go look at tomorrow's weather to see if things will heat up just a little bit. And luckily for us, 80s, what we all know and love, Palm Springs 92, still keeping it hot. Moving over to the coast, my favorite place in the world. It's still going to be relatively nice. We have Thousand Oaks, it's 84 degrees, San Fernando 85 degrees, and bringing it back home to a place that we all know and love. I'm going to give you all a hint. USC, it's not going to be as chilly tomorrow. It's a comfortable 77 degrees, and then our flights and not feelings forecast is 71 degrees at LAX. But looking forward for the rest of the week is relatively going to be pleasant. I'm super excited. 80s all around for everyone, and I am ready to bring my shorts back out again. But as we said, something a little different for y'all. On November 20th, a man on death row for 21 years is scheduled to be executed in Texas. Celebrities have launched a social media campaign to save the life of Rodney Reed.
Social media has now become one of the major mediums of communication. I mean, that's been a major factor in getting these death row cases to widespread public attention. This is a case that ought to arouse widespread national and indeed even international attention.
Celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, and Gigi Hadid have tweeted campaigns calling for the delay of Reed's execution. A petition to save his life has gone viral. Hashtag Free Rodney Reed has gained national attention, trending on Twitter and Instagram. 26 Texas lawmakers sent an emergency letter to Governor Greg Abbott asking him to delay Reed's execution. An investigation by the Innocence Project uncovered new forensic evidence and additional witnesses.
See, I think that is a wonderful, powerful example of social media.
Yeah, it sure is. I saw it on social media as well. That's how I first heard about the story. Yeah, and now we have Noah Camras here to talk about sports. There could be a new AD in town. What's going on, Noah?
That's right, Cecil. USC, the Trojan fans continue to await the announcement of their new athletic director. We'll update you on everything there is to know about that situation. Trojan basketball is finally back, and some spectacular freshmen stole the show last night. We'll highlight one freshman's record-breaking performance. And finally, Trojan football is trying to stay alive in the Pac-12 South. We'll prepare you for their upcoming matchup against ASU. But first, let's pause for a 7th inning stretch. We'll be back with sports right after the break.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hey, let's check out this park.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and...
I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. Trojan basketball's long-awaited return finally came last night with a season-opening blowout win over Florida A&M. The Trojans were finally able to showcase their top 10 recruiting class, one that has Trojan fan excitement at an all-time high. The five-star freshman stole the show last night as big men Isaiah Mobley and Onweka Okongwu dominated on both ends of the floor, helping the Trojans cruise to a 77-48 victory. Coach Enfield had nothing but praise for these two freshmen.
He's relentless. He's relentless. When that shot goes up, he's going to be somewhere, and it's usually towards basketball. Really the mentality, because I know a lot of guys just as athletic as Anqi, but when that shot goes up, he's going to get it.
The Trojans will continue non-conference play this Friday night with a matchup against Portland at the Galen Center. Now let's send it over to Trevor to hear more about our fantastic freshmen. Trevor?
Thanks, Noah. Onweka Okongwu made history last night, tying the school record for blocks in a game with 8 in his first career action. He also led the team with 20 points and 13 rebounds. He was just 2 blocks away from posting the second triple-double in USC school history. The last person to do that was Daniel Hackett all the way back in 2007, when Okongwu was just 7 years old. Now he's already knocking on the record books in his first career game. But Okongwu wasn't the only freshman who dominated at the Galen Center yesterday. Alyssa Peely put up 18 points and 13 rebounds in the team's 69-55 win over Cal State Northridge. Alyssa's brother is USC defensive lineman Brandon Peely, but that's the last time I'll ever mention that because her game speaks for itself. She may be the most decorated high school athlete to ever play for USC. She won 13 state titles in Alaska across 4 different sports. Most people couldn't do that in a lifetime. She did it in just 4 years. So Noah, whoever takes over as athletic director has to be excited about the young talent on both of these basketball teams.
Yeah, Trevor, that is right. Whoever takes over will be excited. But like you said, it was reported last Friday that USC was nearing a deal to name Mike Bone their new athletic director. Sources tell Annenberg Media that the announcement is expected to come tomorrow. But until that announcement is made, we do not know anything for sure. So keeping that in mind, Trevor, how much urgency do you think there should be to name a new athletic director right now?
There's a lot of urgency right now, Noah, and that's really for 2 reasons. Number 1 is recruiting. USC currently has the 66th best recruiting class for football for the class of 2020, according to Rivals.com. And that's because of uncertainty at the head coaching position, and they can't hire a new head coach until they get an athletic director, so they need to figure out the situation quickly so recruits know what they're getting into. And number 2 is Florida State. They pulled the trigger, fired Willie Taggart this weekend, and that's really important for USC because all the names flying around, Urban Meyer, James Franklin, all the potential candidates to replace Clay Helton, you best believe the Seminoles are going to give those guys calls too, and now they're ahead of the Trojans and getting that process going.
Yeah, so like you just mentioned, Clay Helton in the head coaching position. As of right now, we have no idea who
He's
will
still
coach
the head coach
USC.
right now.
As of right now, Clay Helton is our head coach. We don't know who will be there next year. But with all the noise going on, like you said, Urban Meyer, James Franklin, I want to ask about Urban. Do you think Urban Meyer will be USC football's next head coach?
I really do, Noah. And that's because boosters are right now applying a lot of pressure on USC to turn this thing around and become a national powerhouse overnight. They're tired of the waiting, tired of the rebuilding. And that's why Urban Meyer makes the most sense here. He's won, as you can see, at every single stop he's been at. He's one of 2 FBS coaches all time to win national championships at 2 different programs. He did it at Florida and Ohio State. When you connect the dots, the fact that he's living in Los Angeles, recently bought a house in the South Bay, it makes the most sense. Despite everything that's going on, all the reports, I still think Urban Meyer's the front runner to be USC's next head coach.
Well, Trojan fans hope this will be settled soon, and someone else who hopes this will be settled soon is Clay Helton, who knows there's still some more important football to be played, so he's doing whatever he can to keep his team focused.
This is our family right here. So let's focus on us. Let's focus on nothing that's outside but us right here, right now, in this moment for 3 weeks, because this 3 weeks, dictates our season.
As Coach Helton said, the Trojans still have football to play, including a pretty big game against ASU this weekend. Last week's loss to Oregon means the Trojans do not control their own destiny. So, Trevor, if the Trojans want any chance of winning the South, they must treat every game like a must-win game.
Absolutely. There's still 3 games left. That's right. And over the next 3 weeks, the Trojans are really focused on one thing, and that's limiting turnovers. They coughed up the ball 4 times against Oregon, and they're tied for 121st in the nation in turnover margin at -9. If that doesn't sound bad enough for you, there are only 129 teams in the entire country. So USC is going to need to play mistake-free football in order to beat the Sun Devils. Herm Edwards' squad has forced 11 fumbles. That's the second most in the country. But I've still got USC in this game. I think they fight for Clay Helton. I think they put up one of their best performances of the season, despite all the outside noise. Who do you have?
I'm with you. I got USC 31-27. Big game for them on the road. Let's send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Trevor and Noah.
We'll see what items a pop star was selling outside of his house in Tarzana today.
That's right.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Hundreds of people waited in line today for a one-of-a-kind yard sale. Annenberg Media's Jackson Stevens has the story.
Fans of musician Chris Brown, hoping to get personal items, and those looking for resale opportunities, began lining up yesterday. The yard sale in Tarzana was mainly advertised on social media.
Chris Brown is essentially looked upon one of the, fashion influencers. So I know he has a lot of stuff, a lot of unique stuff. Definitely stuff that the normal person can't afford. So if he's having a yard sale and decides to let go most of his stuff for little to nothing, I mean, pretty sure the turnout will be pretty well. So been here maybe about a little past 5:30.
Groups of 10 to 30 in line were allowed up the private driveway to the yard sale by security. There was no sign of Brown.
I'm here at the front of the line to Chris Brown's house, and fans who have been waiting all night to purchase things from his yard sale have started to return and are very pleased with the results and the prices.
I've been here for about like 12 hours. It's cool. I mean, I went in there, invested $500, and like most of the stuff I'll resell or show in my shop, and would make like $3,000. So like $2,500 for 12 hours. That's pretty nice.
Among the items sold was a jumpsuit worn by Brown while he painted, as well as a sports jersey. Both are part of a collection bought for $3,000. Everyone who bought something also walked away with a free ice cream, something appreciated after waiting in the hot sun. For Annenberg Media, I'm Jackson Stevens.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Kellie Miller.
And I'm Cecil Hannibal. Good night.